You know, as a man, don't you want to spread your wings a little while your wife's away visiting her folks? When she's home, she's always nagging and there's no place for a man in the house. Besides, having another woman around means she can take care of my personal needs, right? My parents and I were left speechless by those words. See? Even your father-in-law has nothing to say. So Karen, you should forgive a little infidelity while you're away. Just keep quiet when you're not around. Tyler seemed to think that my father's silence meant he hit the nail on the head, but even my father, as a man, was appalled by those words. It's unbearably pathetic that these are the words of a husband who just became a father. After that, my father called out my in-laws and a family meeting began. There's no point in bickering about it here, right? So for now, just come back tomorrow as planned. Tyler said to me carefreely, still not understanding the gravity of the situation. You're right. For now, I'll come back tomorrow. I finally opened my mouth. In this family meeting, I reconfirmed Tyler's character and decided in my heart to carry out a certain plan. My name is Karen. Just a year ago, I got married and I'll be turning 30 this year. My husband, Tyler, has been my classmate since elementary school, so we go way back. We lived close by and our parents knew each other. Moreover, I'd always known that he was an only son, his family was wealthy, and he was a bit of a spoiled brat. We started dating in the spring after graduating high school. We held a farewell party for classmates moving far away for college or work, and that's when he confessed to me. We went to different colleges, but since we were in the same state, we started dating. However, we actually broke up after a year. I became anxious about whether I should really keep dating Tyler and eventually marry him, so I told him I wanted to break up. Tyler was against it, but I just couldn't see a future with him. However, we happened to meet again a few years ago, and that's when he asked to get back together. Honestly, I was hesitant to reconcile, thinking we might break up again, but when Tyler said, "After breaking up with you, Karen, I really regretted it," I decided to give it another chance. After that, we squeezed in dates between our busy work schedules, nurtured our love, and about 2 years into dating, we held a small wedding ceremony with just friends and parents and became husband and wife. We currently rent a condo close to both my parents' and in-laws' homes and live together, just the two of us. We were blissfully happy, but we were both busy with work. Both Tyler and I are full-time employees. We start early in the morning and finish late at night. That's why I wanted to fully split the housework, but Tyler wouldn't agree to it. Sure, we both work, but I earn more and my family's richer, you know? If we made about the same, I'd split it, but if I had to do housework too, wouldn't that be unfair? When I brought up splitting chores, Tyler just laughed it off like that. In the first place, since we're married, I think we should both make efforts and cooperate to support our life together, and our parents' current financial situations are irrelevant. However, Tyler, who was raised preciously as an only son, would brag about his family's wealth at every turn and treat me like a servant. So every day, I wake up early to do laundry, clean, and prepare meals. After work, I go shopping, and once I get home, I make dinner and clean up. Meanwhile, Tyler leisurely wakes up, gets himself ready, and heads to work. After coming home, he sits on the sofa fiddling with his phone or starts drinking by himself. No matter how much our incomes or family assets differ, is this really the equality that Tyler speaks of? I spent my days lost in thought as I did housework. One day, I was called by my mother-in-law to visit my in-laws' house. She contacted me saying an acquaintance had given her some vegetables and she wanted me to come pick them up. I was grateful for the vegetables and my mother-in-law's consideration, and it made me happy. However, if I stop by my in-laws after work, it means I'll be that much later in taking care of things at home. Luckily, it was Friday and I didn't have work the next day, but I was feeling tired and wanted to take a breather as soon as possible. However, I couldn't just ignore my mother-in-law's kindness, so I visited my in-laws' house feeling a bit gloomy. "I've been waiting for you." When I arrived, my mother-in-law handed me the vegetables she had prepared. Then she cheerfully talked about the son of the acquaintance who gave her the vegetables and how the neighbor had gone on a trip. The content was trivial, but I couldn't smoothly end the conversation, so I just stood at the entrance, giving a wry smile and nodding along. Oh my, look at the time. The vegetables are a bit heavy, so I double-bagged them. They probably won't tear, but be careful. Yes. Thank you very much. You seem a bit down. Your complexion doesn't look good either. Did I make you come over even though you're not feeling well? My mother-in-law peered at my gloomy face and asked with a slightly flustered tone. No. I'm just a little tired. Is that so? You need to rest as soon as you get home. I wonder if Tyler will be coming home early today too. Maybe I had reached my limit, but I couldn't smoothly dodge those words. When I get home, cooking and laundry are waiting for me. On top of that, when Tyler gets back, he'll relax by himself without a second thought. There's no way I wouldn't be irritated seeing that, and there's no way I'd have time to rest. It's not my mother-in-law's fault, but I felt myself becoming spiteful and about to say something like that. Did Tyler do something? If you don't mind, please talk to me instead of keeping it all to yourself. My mother-in-law gently spoke to me, then put the vegetables she had been holding down at the entrance. She urged me to come inside, had me sit on the sofa, and listen to my story. So that's the situation. Am I wrong for asking Tyler to do even a little bit of housework? As I talked to my mother-in-law, tears began to fall. Since we live close by, I often keep in touch with my mother-in-law. She's easy to confide in and a really good mother-in-law, but I didn't really want to consult her about Tyler in this way. However, my mother-in-law listened to my story seriously and muttered, I see. I'm sorry for pushing everything onto you, Karen. It's all because I spoiled Tyler. No, it's not your fault. But I just can't handle it all alone. Thank you for telling me. I'll try talking to Tyler. After saying that, my mother-in-law told me to stay the night. Once I calmed down a bit, she placed warm stew and pickled vegetables in front of me and said, I'm gonna go buy some underwear at the store real quick. Eat and wait for me, before dashing out of the house with incredible vigor. If I didn't go home, I wonder what would happen to Tyler. There's no dinner, and the room is still a mess. I thought about that a little, but overwhelmed by my mother-in-law's energy, I quietly reached for the chopsticks. The taste of a meal made by someone else, which I hadn't had in a long time, was delicious and I kept eating. Why had I been trying so hard by myself? I was grateful to my mother-in-law, thinking I should have consulted her sooner, and I rested at my in-laws that night. After this incident, I started consulting my mother-in-law about everything. Regarding splitting household chores, it seems my mother-in-law scolded Tyler, saying, Karen is not your mother. You can't rely on her for every little thing. Stop tattling every damn thing. Tyler grumbled, but recently he's at least started doing the dishes. I still have a much bigger burden, but I'm very satisfied with even just that. Then, sometime later, I got a call from my friend Sarah while on my way home from work. Sarah has been my close friend since elementary school, and of course she's friends with Tyler too. She also lives locally, so we often meet up and keep in touch. That day, I answered the phone without thinking much of it. Hello? Karen, are you alone right now? Huh? Yeah. I stopped walking at Sarah's words. Her tone was different from usual, and it felt off. What's wrong? You're being so formal. Well, this might be unnecessary if you already know, but I heard rumors that Tyler is addicted to gambling. Seems he's been frequenting casinos. What? I couldn't help but ask again. I thought there was no way Tyler would gamble. The reason for our initial breakup was actually because of gambling. When Tyler started college, he got hooked on slot machines and poured all his part-time job wages into them. Even when we had a date planned, he'd often say, I lost money at the slots. Can you treat me today? And I'd end up paying for the meal. We went out less, and even when we met, I'd just be sitting bored next to Tyler as he watched slot machine videos. Regardless of slots, if he kept gambling like this or started betting larger amounts of money down the line, there's no way we could get married no matter how wealthy his family was. So that's why I told Tyler I wanted to break up. When he refused to break up, Tyler clung to me, saying, "I swear I'll never play slots again. I won't gamble either. I promise, so please reconsider." However, I couldn't fully trust him, and that's what led to our breakup. When we decided to get back together, it seemed he had completely quit gambling, and he happily told me he had been able to save money. I even got confirmation from friends saying, "Tyler really isn't gambling anymore," so I felt relieved thinking my words had truly changed him. And yet, to hear he's started gambling again, it must be some kind of mistake. After getting home, I immediately confronted Tyler. "I heard you've been going to the casino. Are you gambling again?" For a moment, Tyler made a face like he was caught, but quickly feigned composure. "It's just within my allowance. I'm not betting everything like I used to with my part-time job wages." "Even so, you said you wouldn't gamble at all, right?" Overwhelmed by my anger, Tyler, who had been pretending to be calm, cowered a little. However, he snapped back defiantly, raising his voice. "Enough already, you're so annoying. I'll quit, okay? What's with that attitude? You don't sound remorseful at all. I said I'll stop, so that should be good enough. You're such a pain in the ass." I was seriously ticked off, but I suppressed my anger. I was shocked that he broke his promise, but I was actually pregnant at the time. He says he'll stop gambling, and unlike when we were just dating, I can't easily get a divorce. "If you do it again, I want a divorce." Yeah, sure. I'll divorce you then." I sighed at Tyler, who wasn't even trying to understand my feelings. He wasn't like this in the past. How did he change so much? "Oh, and don't tell my mom. With this, the matter is resolved. Got it?" Unbelievable. Right next to me as I was fed up with him, he had the nerve to say that without remorse. A few days later, I told Tyler about my pregnancy. I was still feeling unsettled about the other day, but I couldn't keep quiet about it. When Tyler heard the news, his eyes widened and he was overjoyed. I didn't expect him to be that happy, and it made me smile a little. "Now I get why you were so angry the other day. Your hormones must have been out of whack," he said, and my face tightened again. "The reason I was angry the other day wasn't because of my hormones, it was because you broke your promise, remember? Don't bring that up again. Getting all worked up is bad for the baby." Tyler said that with a big grin. There's no way I could be convinced, but it's true that being angry all the time isn't good. Tyler quickly reported the news to his parents too. They were thrilled. "Don't make Karen do all the housework," my mother-in-law warned Tyler, so maybe he had a change of heart, as he started actively helping with chores. He hasn't been gambling since then either. And before I knew it, I reached my due date. However, even after the due date passed, there were no signs of the baby coming. "Still not born yet?" Tyler also started getting antsy. Seeing him like that, I was able to smile, and my trust in him had recovered to that extent as we eagerly awaited the birth of our child. I planned to stay with my parents after giving birth. We planned for about a month-long stay and had everything prepared. All that was left was to wait for the baby to be born safely. Around 4 days past the due date, my water broke and I was rushed to the hospital, but a healthy baby boy was born that same day, and the whole family was full of smiles. "Rest well at your parents' place. I'll come visit," Tyler said with a smile as he dropped me off at my parents' house on the day I was discharged. "Thanks. Please clean the house." Yes, I know." I saw Tyler off as he left with a smile, and from that day on, I started my life at my parents' house. We named our son Tom. I was frazzled taking care of a newborn for the first time. However, thanks to my mother's support, I was able to focus on caring for Tom, and he ate well, slept well, and grew bigger and bigger. Tyler would stop by my parents' house after work or on his days off, gaze at Tomo's face for a bit, and then leave. "Are you keeping the house clean? You're doing the laundry properly, right?" "I'm doing it. Don't nag me so much." Tyler would lightly reply to my questions while gazing at Tom's face with a happy expression. Seeing him like that, I fully trusted him. A month flew by and I was set to go home in 2 days. "You can take it easy a bit longer," Tyler said, but I couldn't keep relying on my parents forever. "I'm going back the day after tomorrow as planned. I'll rest until tomorrow." I said that and started preparing to go home. However, while getting ready, I suddenly became worried about the state of our house. Tyler said it was clean, but I wasn't sure if that was really true. If Tyler hadn't tidied up, there's no way I could do it while watching Tom. "I'm worried about the house, so could you watch Tom for a bit? I'm gonna go clean up." "Of course, dear. Tyler must be at work, but why don't you go have some tea or something? You're gonna be even busier from now on, so you need a breather too." My mother saw me off with those words. I took her up on the offer, left Tom with my mother, and headed home. It felt like it had been a long time even though it was only a month. When I arrived at the condo, I turned the key, feeling both anxious and hopeful about the state of our home. With a click, the lock disengaged and I stepped inside. "I'm home." However, as if reacting to my voice, I heard a noise inside the house. Could it be a burglar? I braced myself. Then, Tyler frantically rushed out of the bedroom. "Karen? What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be back until the day after tomorrow." His hair was a mess and he was dressed sloppily. I couldn't help but widen my eyes. "What about work?" Tyler stiffened a bit at my loud voice and started talking. "I thought I'd get some sleep now while I can, since I won't be able to once Tom is here. I took a personal day today." But from the way he was stammering and glancing at the bedroom, I had a bad feeling. "Is there something in the bedroom?" "Huh? Oh, no." "No, there's someone in there, right?" As I said that, I pointed at his feet. I hadn't noticed earlier, but there was a single woman's sandal. I have the exact same pair, but mine aren't this worn out. "There's no way anyone's here. Move." I pushed Tyler aside and went into the house. "Wait, the bedroom is a mess." Tyler hurriedly tried to stop me, but I shoved him aside and opened the bedroom door. And there, a strange woman in just her underwear. "Who are you? What are you doing in someone else's house?" I yelled as I stepped into the bedroom, trampling on the scattered women's clothing. The woman's gaze fell to the clothes under my feet. Tyler hurriedly tried to pick them up, so I deliberately sat down on the clothes and took out my phone. "Hey, move! Michelle's clothes are..." "Michelle? Oh, that underwear woman?" "No, there's a deep reason for this." Tyler fidgeted as he tried to get the clothes out from under my butt, and Michelle hid her body with the blanket. I recorded the scene on my phone. "What are you filming?" "Evidence." "Please stop." Michelle finally spoke up, letting out a feeble shout. "If you want me to stop, admit to the affair, apologize, and get out of here." I yelled at her. I may have seemed calm, but I was numb inside, and even if I try to remember now, I don't have much memory of this moment. From this recording, I kind of recall the situation. And this recording ended with Michelle on the bed, admitting to the affair and apologizing. I don't even remember how I got back to my parents' house after that. The next day when I woke up, I finally understood the situation and tearfully told my parents about Tyler's infidelity. "You've looked pale and out of it since you got back, so we wondered what happened." My mother said that and cried with me, and my father got furious. "Call Tyler here right now." I called Tyler over as my father said, and he showed up looking annoyed. When my parents asked him about it, Tyler opened his mouth with a slight laugh. "You understand, don't you?" "What?" My father's brow twitched. "You know, as a man, don't you want to spread your wings a little while your wife's away visiting her folks? When she's home, she's always nagging and there's no place for a man in the house. Besides, having another woman around means she can take care of my personal needs, right?" My parents and I were left speechless by those words. See? Even your father-in-law has nothing to say. So Karen, you should forgive a little infidelity while you're away. Just keep quiet when you're not around." Tyler seemed to think that my father's silence meant he hit the nail on the head, but even my father, as a man, was appalled by those words. It's unbearably pathetic that this is coming from a man who just became a father. My father immediately called Tyler's parents. I remained silent as the family meeting began. "You're making too big a deal out of this." Tyler was dissatisfied with our actions, but his parents rushed over with pale faces after hearing the situation. "We can't send Karen in this state or our still young grandson back to Tyler," my father and mother said resolutely, openly expressing their anger. Tyler's parents turned pale and could only utter words of apology. Tyler's actions must have been a shock to them too. Amid all this, Tyler spoke up. "There's no point in bickering about it here, right? So for now, just come back tomorrow as planned." Tyler said that to me carefreely, still not understanding the gravity of the situation. "You're right. For now, I'll come back tomorrow." I finally opened my mouth. In this family meeting, I reconfirmed Tyler's character and decided in my heart to carry out a certain plan. However, Tyler, not even noticing such a thing, seemed satisfied with my response. Both my parents and his parents were left speechless by my words. The next day, I went home first thing in the morning. Because Michelle had left in a hurry, her toothbrush and underwear were left behind. It was as if she had been living there. Well, of course. Thanks to Michelle, the house wasn't as messy as I had worried. Tyler must have told me to take it easy at my parents' place so as not to disturb their fun life together. His life with Michelle must have been exciting and enjoyable. Thinking that she had been living in our home, cheating in this house, made me nauseous. But Tyler seemed satisfied that I had come back. "I knew I made the right choice with you. My eyes weren't wrong." After spewing all that dissatisfaction and abuse at me, to say such a thing now, I can't believe the nerve. Besides, for me, choosing Tyler was nothing but a mistake. Suppressing the urge to say that, I spent that day making certain preparations, and the next day, while Tyler was at work, I carried out a certain plan. I left a divorce petition and went back to my parents' house again. Sarah, who knew the situation, helped me move along with her husband and friends. "Seriously, that's unbelievable. It'd be the worst if people thought all men had that mentality." Even Sarah's husband was appalled and outraged by Tyler's remarks. I took out all the washing machines, vacuum cleaners, and refrigerators that I had bought with my own money. The bed is just garbage to me now, so I left it. Thanks to everyone, those items were quickly moved into my parents' house. I had actually told my parents that I would be coming back here. With the move settled, I was having dinner when I got a call from Tyler. When he got home and noticed the divorce petition and nothing but the bed, he seemed to have finally panicked. Even if I ignored it once, he kept calling over and over again. As I ignored them all, after a while, the intercom at my parents' house rang. "Karen! I know you're there!" Tyler's voice could be heard from the entrance. My father offered to send him away, but I coldly said, "Just ignore him. He'll go home eventually." It started raining after a while. "Open up! The rain is terrible!" Tyler didn't try to leave and kept shouting from the entrance. He seemed desperate to take me back. I had no choice but to go to the entrance. "Did you bring the divorce petition?" I asked through the door. "I'm not getting divorced. I'm staying here until you come back." Tyler refused the divorce and said that. I sighed at his words. "Anyway, let's just go home for now. The rain is getting worse too." I'm inside the house, so I don't care if the rain is terrible or not. Tyler seemed to be suffering in the rain. Seeing him like that made me laugh unintentionally, and I went back to the living room. The intercom kept ringing, but I was determined to thoroughly ignore it. The rain gradually got stronger and stronger, but I laughed, thinking he could cool his head by getting drenched. However, even after a while, Tyler didn't go home, so my father had no choice but to contact his parents. Upon receiving the call, his parents rushed over with pale faces, just like the other day. "Ugh! What did you come here for?" Hearing Tyler's voice from the entrance, we knew his parents had arrived and finally opened the door. Seeing my face, Tyler made an exaggeratedly relieved expression and said,
"Karen, you suddenly disappeared. I was so surprised. You said you'd come back yesterday, right? Come on, let's go home."
I scoffed at Tyler's words. Go back? To that house? Don't be ridiculous. Yesterday, you said to come back for now, so I just came back for now. I had to prepare to move out too.
No way. Could it be you didn't forgive me?
Tyler was utterly shocked by my words. It seemed that in Tyler's mind, the issue had been resolved because I said I would return. In the first place, Tyler didn't think his actions were wrong and kept saying things that justified his infidelity. To Tyler, the fact that I was angry was probably just a temporary emotion.
Of course not. There's no way I could forgive you that easily.
His mother scolded Tyler before anyone else.
What? Don't you understand people's feelings?
Then, his father also raised his voice and scolded Tyler. His mother was crying and his father was angry. The scene was truly a family feud. At first, Tyler was defiant, but he finally seemed to realize that no one was on his side and started lashing out.
What, am I really that bad? Sure, I may have hurt Karen a little, but I didn't cause trouble for anyone.
Didn't cause trouble? Do you know what the neighbors are saying about you?
What?
Tyler cowered at his father's words. In fact, rumors of Tyler's bad behavior had spread in the neighborhood. As Sarah witnessed, many of our classmates had seen Tyler going in and out of the casino, but if that was all, there wouldn't be a problem. However, Tyler had the nerve to act overbearingly inside the casino, threatening the staff, groping women, and taking out his frustrations on the machines. I heard about it from my friends during the move and was appalled. His parents must have heard about it from someone too. I thought I raised you with love and did my best. But blood will tell.
Dad!
Everyone felt something was off about his father's words spoken in anger. It seemed Tyler felt the same way.
Blood will tell? What do you mean?
When Tyler asked that, his father said, "You're not our child. You're the child of my sister."
What?
I was even hearing this for the first time. However, my parents must have known. The two of them looked at each other and fell silent.
Did you and Mom know too?
It's a small town. We had heard rumors like that. This isn't the place, so shall we talk inside? We started the family meeting again. Tyler, soaked to the bone, fell silent with a pale face. Then his parents began to speak. Apparently, his father had a sister 10 years younger than him. I've never met her, and I've never heard anything about her from Tyler's grandparents. Because she was disowned, and no one knows where she is or what she's doing now. His sister got pregnant with Tyler when she was in high school. The father was a member of what would now be called a quasi-delinquent group. A man who threatened people, committed fraud to make money, and had more arrests than could be counted on one hand. The moment he found out his sister was pregnant, he abandoned her, and is currently serving a prison sentence for his subsequent crimes. Tyler's mother, who could no longer have an abortion, gave birth to Tyler. I don't know what the child of such a man will do. I'm not gonna raise him, she said, left baby Tyler, and disappeared. Meanwhile, we were already married but couldn't have children for a long time, so the two of us decided to take in Tyler. Even when Tyler caused problems until now, I thought it was because I spoiled him. But I can't cover for him anymore. The shocking truth left my mouth agape. Tyler also turned pale and didn't say a word. My parents remained silent too. It's no wonder it became a rumor that a man with such a bad reputation got the daughter pregnant. Probably not just my parents, but many people in town of their generation and older know about it. We raised you as our real child. But we can't handle you anymore. When my sister was disowned, I didn't understand my parents' feelings, but now I do. You're not my child anymore.
Wait.
Tyler began to tremble at his father's words.
Looking down on people, treating them like servants, hurting them. Mom.
No matter how much love we gave you, you probably don't understand our feelings when people say, as expected of that man's child. Tyler was stunned by those words. Every time Tyler caused a problem, his parents must have endured a life of people gossiping behind their backs, saying that man's child. Even I can see that they loved and raised Tyler properly without showing that on the outside. Tyler, who took that love for granted and forgot to be grateful to his parents, deserves to be given up on.
I'm really sorry.
You're apologizing to the wrong person. His mother scolded Tyler, who was turning pale and shedding tears. Karen, I'm so sorry for hurting you. Scolded by his mother, Tyler finally faced me and uttered words of apology. After that, his parents apologized to me too. As his parents, the last thing we can do is take responsibility and support Karen in getting a divorce. Really. His face was a mess of rain and tears. With the help of a lawyer, I filed for child support from Tyler. Then Tyler and I got divorced. His parents paid all the legal fees. However, Tyler was slow to pay. His parents, unable to bear seeing that, paid the money they had saved for Tyler's sake as child support. We can't accept money from you, I said to them, but they said in unison. This is Tyler's money. It's the allowance and gift money Tyler received that we held on to. We intended to use it to help Tyler if something happened, but if we don't use it now, this money will have no meaning. With those words, I decided to accept the money. Initially, Tyler was against using that money for child support, but when I said, "Then how are you going to pay me?" he finally agreed to paying child support. It would be hard for Tyler to pay child support monthly from now on. After that, I started a new life with Tom and my parents at my parents' house. However, the story doesn't end there. 2 months later, Tyler came to me again.
Karen, let's start over. I really can't do this without you after all.
It was a line similar to when he urged me to get back together before, but I won't be fooled again. What can't you do? When I asked with a resolute attitude, Tyler faltered for a moment.
Huh? Well, I don't know what to do about utilities and stuff.
What? Figure that out yourself. What you need isn't me, it's the knowledge to live, right? Actually, I knew that the rent and utilities for the condo weren't being withdrawn. I had stopped everything that was being withdrawn from my account. I don't think Tyler did the procedures after that. Or rather, he had left everything to me until now, so he probably doesn't know what to do. It was being withdrawn from my account until now, so you just need to change it to your own account, right?
So, how do I do that?
I don't know.
Study a little.
Tyler may have thought I would help him, but I have no obligation to help him. I don't care what he does from now on. He's been abandoned by his parents, and this has become known among his friends, who are all keeping their distance from him. Michelle apparently dumped him, saying, I had to pay compensation just for sleeping with a man like Tyler. Michelle needs to reflect on her own actions too, but it serves Tyler right that he has no one left. Make sure to pay the rent so you don't get kicked out of the condo, I said, trying to end the conversation, when Tyler uttered unbelievable words. Then, I hate to ask, but could you lend me some money? What? I don't have money because I paid you. I don't know about that. Besides, even if you don't ask me, you should have some savings, right? Tyler opened his mouth reluctantly at my question. Well, you see, I lost it all at the casino. At the same time, laughter welled up inside me. I was utterly dumbfounded. You lost everything because of your own actions. This is what they call reaping what you sow, right? Just make sure you don't turn to loan sharks. Tyler lost everything because of his own actions. He had a hard time apologizing and reflecting until now, but this incident must have been a big deal for him too. I hope this will make him a person who can reflect on himself a little. In the end, Tyler filed for bankruptcy after that. It seems it wasn't a lie that he didn't know how to do the procedures, but he probably didn't have the money to pay in the first place. He was kicked out of the condo, became a laughing stock among his friends, and his words and actions towards me became the talk of the neighborhood, so he must have felt uncomfortable. After that, Tyler moved away somewhere as if running away. I don't know where he is or what kind of life he's living now, but the fact is, he's Tom's father. I hope he can start fresh and rehabilitate himself from now on. Tom grew up healthy. Although I'm curious about his parents saying blood will tell about Tyler, I think Tyler simply couldn't receive his parents' love due to his original personality. It's not about blood, it's Tyler's own problem. I still keep in touch with his parents. Even though Tyler's ties with his parents are severed, Tom seems to think of them as his dear grandparents. Of course, the same goes for my parents. Tom will receive everyone's love and grow up from now on. I want the whole family to watch over him as he does so.